do not never ever connect into untrusted public Wi-Fi networks. That's what everyone says and everybody knows because it's dangerous. But what almost no one knows is do not connect into untrusted public mobile networks. And I will explain why. Just give me a minute. That's way much better. Sorry I had to grab your attention somehow, because this is a really important topic. And to be really honest, I didn't even imagine that this could happen. And the title of this video is not entirely some sort of clickbait, despite of this thing. Um, Basically, recently in Brazil we were attacked by someone who stole the credentials for broadcasting messages and warnings across the emergency mobile system of the Brazil. And why am I recording this? Isn't this just any sort of just ordinary attack? And the answer is no. I will not stick with the what everyone already said, which is the staff who was the responsible for the leaked credentials was irresponsible or something. No, that's not the focus of this video, but to explain how dangerous this could be if the person who did the attack was actually wanting to cause some damage to the whole Brazil infrastructure, mainly the smartphones. Well, introducing myself, I'm a security researcher, and the main topic that I've been working with in the past 2 years is the security of mobile networks and the internal components of mobile devices. For instance, smartphones. Probably you are watching this video in one of them. So, explaining briefly, because this video is for dummies, I will try to be more user-friendly as possible. Basically, what is going on? Someone got credentials, and with those credentials, the person managed to send a mass broadcast of messages in form of SMS and emergency messages that every single mobile device from certain Brazilian regions were receiving those messages. And what's the big issue? Is just someone trying to, get some loose or try to promote himself. But the point is that if this person was really, really with bad intentions, the damage caused could be invisible, totally invisible, and I will explain why. Basically, your device has many components, electronic components, the chips, the memory, the CPU, all that stuff that makes your device work. But one component inside the main chipset of your device is called the baseband, which is responsible for the radio connections, your Wi-Fi, your Bluetooth, GPS, and Of course, the mobile networks. And in this little component is so powerful, but so powerful that every single thing that happens into it, even the rest of the components, usually don't even know what's going on. It has its own architecture, its own memory, its own permissions. For instance, I've been working with Qualcomm. Qualcomm is one of those chipset makers, and its baseband is called Hexagon. And Hexagon is so powerful, but so powerful that when the main device boots up, it boots the Hexagon firmware, and then the Hexagon firmware gets more privilege than the rest of the device. What I want to say with this explanation? Basically, if someone gets to compromise the Hexagon chipset, it's able to compromise the whole device, and there's nothing that you can do about that. And the worst part, that's a completely invisible attack, because everything that your baseband receives, it chooses what to show to the rest of your device. For instance, if you receive an SMS, you will see in your screen of your device. But what probably people don't know is that if you receive the SMS from another person, you will equally receive it, but your device doesn't even know, because the baseband will receive and will automatically discard, and the rest of the systems don't know about that. And that's really important, because the privileges of the baseband are really, really, really high. So, to be simple, if someone tries to send an SMS, broadcast of emergency system, your device will only know if the baseband allows it. So, if someone somehow compromise your baseband, it will have the most greatest level of privilege of your entire device, and you cannot even stop it, because the level of privilege is almost one entirely separated entity, and this entity can have the power to command every single component of hardware and software of your device. And why? It's hard for someone to send malicious packages and compromise your baseband. That's so hard, but so hard and expensive. If you get a portable radio, sometimes called software defined radio or SDR, the most cheap one is like I don't know, $600, and in Brazilian reais is just like let me see, $3,000. Like, it's completely expensive. So if someone gets to have this money to buy some specialized hardware, for instance, do you remember the car of scam which was war driving across São Paulo? If you don't remember, basically is one car that was driving, and guess what? It has a little antenna which every single smartphone nearby the antenna was connecting into this car, and this car was sending malicious messages with phishing and a lot of stuff. That's how intelligence agencies are capable of tracking people across the countries. For instance, in United States, that's illegal indeed, and but they do. They basically don't don't care. Uh, so that's completely um dangerous. And the worst part is because it's so hard through some security researchers just like me to study this sort of technology and conduct some security tests and stuff. The components of baseband and the chipset in general are really weak in security uh, matters. So when someone compromise your baseband, it will have access to your whole device, and the manufacturer basically cannot do anything about it because it's hard to deliver some firmware update and stuff because the device need to be fully upgraded, and sometimes it's even worse. There is code uh, written in the silicon, and that's impossible to change without buying a new device. That's really, really dangerous. But since almost no one have the money and the patience to try to compromise devices across the globe, the manufacturers just ignore this issue. So what your device do? Guess what? Yes, it connects to every single mobile networks that you is near. So here a quick tip to avoid this sort of attack, tracking and all that stuff, because the just like I've said before, if the person responsible for um, doing the Brazilian attack was really wanting to compromise to do some sort of chaos, this person won't try to send SMSs and messages with his name. Instead, he will send messages containing the malicious code that will compromise your device, and that's what is the dangerous. And that's not some sort of speculation from my head. That's proven to exist and was explored before. There are literally courses teaching how to do this. That's not crazy stuff. That's real life, and that's dangerous. So, a tip to avoid this sort of stuff: activate your airplane mode, because otherwise your device will ever connect into the most near base station. And if you activate the airplane mode, your device, I cannot say for every single one, but even if it connects to the base station, the radio, it will ignore pretty much every package coming from it. You know, that's one really good solution, and it's proven to work. In 2025 July, the same mechanism exploited recently was used in a trial to test if people devices will receive a message, and that's okay. The test went fine, and every single device from my street started to beep, like beep, and appeared a message in their device saying that that's a test, and this test was previously announced. So that was not malicious message or any sort of attack, but every single device received. You know what device didn't receive it? Mine, because I always choose what networks I want to connect. I always enable the airplane mode, because even if my baseband connects to the base station, it will drop the packages, the data coming into it, and in some devices it may even actually power off the whole baseband system, and that's one big OPSEC measure to add. And if you are not a Brazilian, consider uh, to adopt this sort of thing. Doesn't hurt, and you will avoid potentially lots of issues. Recently, we had bad actors compromising the SS7 protocol, and that's a protocol that I don't remind perfectly, but I think in Brazil is not that common, but in United States and Europe and all the stuff is way more common. And the APT was using this mobile layer to compromise and intercept messages from people. And imagine if they manage to start to send compromised messages with malicious code to every single device. Because remember, everyone nowadays have a piece of smartphone. It's and it doesn't matter if it's cheaper and if it's expensive. Everyone have one of these, and you know what they all have? Yes, basebands, and that's why you should never trust public, untrusted mobile networks. Share this video if it is useful for you, and see you next time. Bye.